history between us.
Oh yeah, because I gotta go live here on what is this thing? The
StreamYard.
StreamYard, and then we could go live on Instagram. There we go. We
And
coming to you, everyone on Facebook and YouTube. I gotta get Instagram up, and we live, baby. We live. Welcome to episode 7 of Technically Speaking. I got my boy brother Corey, who's actually doing some. He's multitasking. He's taking care of some daddy duties, and I got my boy Stu,
what's up?
who was gracious to join us. Thank you for joining us, Stu.
Thank you for joining us, Stu.
Not a problem.
Appreciate you.
And Stu and I was just talking about how far back we go. He's a fellow veteran, Air Force veteran, right?
Thank you for your service, Stu.
Oh yeah, thank you for your service, brother. We came up together in Davis Monthan, 612 ACOM. So shout out to everyone that's been part of that 612 ACOM's family, past, present, and future. We were in Korea together.
Yeah,
Kunsan, right? We were in Kunsan together. Man, a lot of soju, so the brain doesn't retain as much as it used to.
On that soju, I remember that.
So, on this episode of Technically Speaking, we're talking about how AI is changing government, music, and video. And this was all sparked on the conversation. Stu hit me up on Facebook on some clips we had out there about AI, and he was kind of sharing some advanced tips on investing in AI, right? Which we'll get to in a minute. But what I wanted to do was take this episode to get people to consider or to think about why they should consider investing in AI, whether as an investor or as a career. So a couple of things as far as a career, man. I like to talk about that because, you know, my background. We were just talking about how I ran an IT trade school for a little while, and career wise, I got some numbers for y'all, right? This is something I want y'all to consider. So according to the World Economic Forum, AI is expected to create 97 million jobs within the next 10 years. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, they project that 21% of AI, they project a 21% growth in AI careers by 2031. And then the AI Index report of 2024 projects the AI market to expand by 37.3% by 2030. So the jobs are coming. I know a lot of people are kind of scared, like, oh, AI is going to take all of our jobs. It's probably going to take some jobs. I'm not going to lie, but
it's going to take jobs. But what it's also going to do is going to create jobs. So the thing about it is, in order for new breed to be able to be bred, if that makes sense, or if that is even a word.
I remember New Breed on No Limit.
Right, but what I'm saying, things have to die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Old things have to die to make room for the new. And I'm not talking about people in general, but old habits, old ways. You know, no longer can you go to a coffee shop and just get your coffee and just be like, have a good like 3-5 minute conversation with an individual. Unfortunately, that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
However, you know what I'm saying? We're at the time right now in our lives. We see what's coming. Only those who are lazy and willing not to change or not willing to change are going to be the ones who's going to get left out. That's like saying if you see a car coming, move.
Move. Nah, good point. Wait a minute. Hold up. Now, you just said something that struck a chord. A minor. No, I'm just kidding. So you saying I can't talk to my favorite barista no more? Is that what you saying, Corey?
What I'm saying is companies are getting more efficient. And the reason being because let's just be honest. I'm literally pulling up to a Starbucks right now that doesn't have a place where you can sit down and order. It's like an express, but they have a drive-through, right?
Yeah.
So what they're trying to do is get more, economical. They want to be more efficient, and then they also want to be cost savvy, because to have a brick and mortar is going to cost you more. Now, just having a drive-through spot, I'm sure it costs less. The rent is less, and they get more return because nobody want to get out their car. They just want to grab and go.
I mean, you're not lying, because that's me. I just give me my Americana with the little marshmallow snack, and I'm good.
Yeah,
you got a good point.
I get the apple cider. They got a nice little what is it? Some kind of apple cider thing.
Yeah, the caramel apple cider with the
crispy. Yeah, there we go. That's
or the medicine ball when I'm feeling a bit under the weather.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real.
here's the plus and the negative. So the negative of it is you don't have somebody who knows your order, right? Remember Cheers? You want to go where everybody knows your name?
Yeah, don't you want to go?
I got a feeling that AI would remember, or you could just use the app or whatever. It's like, oh, what do you want?
And that's what it is. It's the app. Hold on one second. I'm about to go ahead and place this order. Y'all continue, but let's talk about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let me see. I want to go. I need to go full screen on them. Full screen.
Yeah, I think. I mean, he's right about companies being more efficient. For sure. I've actually done a little bit of a analysis on it.
Oh yeah.
Well, so a lot of people were talking about why everybody's a little bit upset and agitated, why everything is more expensive, and it just basically boils down to everything is becoming more competitive. Everything, back in the day, you wanted to go to college or you wanted to join a football team back in the day, right? Like on the NFL, it's not that you walked on, you still had to have a tryout, but that was pretty much, it. If you were like a big dude and you could play ball, you got a shot at it, right? You just walk out there. But now they're recruiting people back in like junior high school. They're getting they got teams, they got coaches that are teaching you. The kids are going to private schools. They're bigger, faster, stronger. They're getting scouted earlier. And now whenever you go onto a football team, they've got medical teams, they've got traveling teams. You're not going out partying the night before the game. They've got, wellness coaches, they got massage therapists. They didn't have anything back in the 70s. They were like chugging a beer at the night before the game.
True.
And just like going out on the thing, but now, and a lot of people are waking up to that. They're like seeing that everything now is more focused on returns of investments. There's making less mistakes. They're like, grabbing stuff early. So back even early 2000s, there was over 8,000 something publicly listed companies on the stock exchange. Now I think it's underneath, what is it? The numbers are off a little bit. I should have probably pulled them up, but it's definitely less than half of that now. And everybody was saying that it should explode. It should be having more businesses, but instead, especially after COVID, that most businesses have been gobbling up competition because it's expensive to produce items. And
it is
inexpensive is data. They're able to sell something extra without having to make more stuff. So what they've been doing, everybody wants to grab all the data that they can because of, and I think AI is part of a thing where it's going to be more about like control in a way, because whenever you go to Google right now, you're trying to use that AI for search, right?
Yep.
And you type something in. Well, you used to be able to go to different websites, but now it will feed you the information that it thinks is correct and or whatever it's been told to tell you, or whatever. It may be right, it may not be right. And right now you can get around it. But later on, I feel like it's going to be like a service that you're going to have to subscribe to, that you're not going to be able to find that information elsewhere. They're going to like scrub it. They're going to suck everything in. And then they're going to be like, okay, if you want information, you're going to have to pay for it. Because nothing in AI that I have seen has been about being beneficial to like, other people. It's usually have been like, well, we're going to increase our profits, we're going to increase our revenue. And a lot of people, I think, are missing the biggest picture because they're saying, oh, well, it's going to be used to scam people. And that's true.
But
the biggest thing right now is an AI. So Microsoft is rolling out something called Recall, and it's not even AI. Most of this stuff is not even really technically AI. Recall is just going to take screenshots, and Amazon does this already with their, data that they have. Is basically the companies are going to have so much information about what people are buying. Like Amazon, say they know that this company is selling crazy amounts of stuff. They're doing really good this quarter. Well, sure, they're going to invest money in the stock market on this company because now they have that information. Imagine if you could see what everybody in the entire world was trading. So every 5 seconds, you get an update from everybody's Windows computer, whatever they're trading, whatever they're buying, whatever they're doing. You can get ahead of the curve and either buy the stock or you can sell it. Be like, oh man, nobody's buying eggs anymore for whatever reason.
You know what that sounds like?
What?
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like data is the new drug, and
AI is the new plug, baby. That's no stand we got, man. I was waiting for it.
It needs to have somebody to sift through all that information, and basically these large, they call it LLMs, large language models, basically are doing that. So it's one of those things. I've been looking at it, and it's really cool. I love seeing like the stuff that it comes up with, but also it's like you can kind of sort of see where it's going, and you're like,
yeah. I didn't see it like that. You make a good point, right? Going back to what we say, man, data is the new drug, AI is the new plug, and the way you laid it out, I see it. I see it, right? Yeah. It's always comes down to who controls the what's the word? Who controls the gold, right? Where it was gold before, right? Then it was oil. Oil became the new gold, but data is that new gold / oil, right? Ooh.
Yep.
That makes a lot of sense to where now it's going to be you basically out there hustling for data. I see that, man.
Everybody is out there right now. They're asking for your information all the time. And everybody's like, well, I don't want them to have my information. And it's not necessarily that they care about your information. It's everybody's as a whole. They want to put you into a category and a group and be able to sell that to advertisers, being like, okay, these people click on these type of things, and once they have generative AI or whatever, they can make an ad specific to you, specifically like, okay, well, this guy really likes German Shepherd's dogs, and we'll have like a little video of one running up, and they like this product, and it's going to make their life all better.
So
whether it does or not.
And real quick, shout out to everyone on Instagram. DC Mally 20 or 22 said data mining. Good point. That's gonna be at an all-time high, the data mining, right? Which I think, Stu, when I'm picking up from what you said, the LLM is kind of doing that. It's kind of like an automated data mining system, huh?
So a large language model doesn't necessarily do that. What it does is it is a file that is basically the network on how the AI looks at certain things. There's something called weights involved as well. I'm just a tinkerer. I am not a professional. But so what happens is, and this is the reason why, and you guys were talking about the prompt engineering becoming a thing. And this is the reason why prompt engineering is like, everybody's kind of talking about it, is because you need to find out what words a specific model uses to get the results that you want. Because with, how they keep on coming out with brand new GPTs, the problem is that the AI doesn't actually learn anything. Once they already do that large language model, once they compile it, you don't change that. That's it. That's like it. You can feed it information, but it doesn't retain it necessarily. So it doesn't change the weights or anything that's involved with it. So they actually have to create a new one. They have to train something new. And there are ways to impact the base model. So basically you would take like a base model car and you want to add on some rims and a spoiler or something to make it whatever. Right?
I see what you're saying.
So there are things called LoRa's now this is just for the image generation stuff. So you can actually train it on a different model of something. So say the base model doesn't know what a person looks like with red hair. It's never seen it before, but it knows what a person looks like, right?
Yeah.
It knows what hair looks like. So what you would do is you would go and find a bunch of examples of people with red hair and then train that into a LoRa, and then you would add it to the base model. So the base model would generate the person, and basically they would be like, okay, they have hair, but let me look over here at what this is, and then I'll add that into how that is made.
Okay.
So but the thing is that once they change the base model, that LoRa no longer works. Well, it would still work with the old model, but for the new model, you would need to train it a different way, because it basically associates things differently. It has different weights for the words that are being used.
Yeah.
So it's
real quick, because you're very knowledgeable in this, right? And we didn't tell people your background, right? So Stu and I came from network backgrounds in the military, but since then I went more cybersecurity. He actually has a DevOps background too. So his DevOps background, it's enough. It's enough.
Yeah. I mess around and tinker with a lot of stuff, but I'm definitely not an expert. But I definitely I've been tinkering with it. There's some AI that I run at home, like Stable Diffusion. That is the image generation software. So it's open source.
We're gonna get into that too. Yeah, definitely. So. And the reason why I want to put that out there, because I want people to people might be like, "Wow, why does he know so much? Why should we listen to him?" Like, well, I support a DevOps environment now, and I get the opportunity to work around AI professional, data scientists, and all that sort, right? But I wanted people to understand that these insights you're giving us, because you're dropping some gold on us, or should I say data? You hitting us with some gems, man. But I want people to know that you are bona fide. So that's why you're so knowledgeable in that, man. You're hitting us with some good stuff, man. One thing I want to jump into one of the articles, right? Earlier you had mentioned about the control, right? It's all about that control, and I want to talk about this article I found at nextgov.com. And they were talking about this whole concept of the global information dominance experiments that the DoD has, right? I mean, it's right there, right? Global information dominance, the control of data, like you said, right? And in that article, it talks about how the DoD, that's the Department of Defense, Chief Digital and Artificial Intelligence Office awarded a $33 million contract to Palantir, I think it is.
Palantir, yeah.
Palantir. You know them? Do you know them?
I've heard of them a little bit. They have a couple of systems that the military works with. They've been around for a while. So, nice. But they do a lot of like information technology, things like that.
Yep. And the whole point of that contract was so to help the Pentagon complete their data sharing ecosystem, right? And then also in that article, it talked about how the DoD also awarded Palantir a $480 million contract for another data solution they have called Maven Smart Systems. But all that to say, right, when you were talking about controlling of that data, when I saw that article, I was like, "Ooh, this is good. This is good." Because you know how you know that expression when they say "follow the money." When it comes to investing or even thinking about careers, I like to say follow the government's money. One thing I learned years ago was if the government is putting money in it, that's an indicator.
It is.
What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, they're putting a lot of money into, and that's the thing is I think it's not just about the data, but it is also the next arms race, because who comes up with the next AI it's going to be bigger and more devastating than any other weapon. I mean, if you could just press a button and devastate someone's economy by pretty much manipulating something, if it was actually able to do that, you wouldn't even have to worry about going to war. You wouldn't have to worry about, anything. You could just basically deny them all their services. I mean, if you were able to turn off their power, If you were able to, do that in key locations to spoil food stocks, maybe turn off power for fuel pumps, anything like that, to render the, whoever adversaries economy and or capability, and I think
That's strategic warfare.
in the future it'll
Yup.
probably
Yup.
what's up.
That was strategic warfare, and we actually
Yeah.
talked about that because of the fact that remember when the water systems was hacked, we
Yup.
talked about
Yeah.
that.
Yup. Go after those critical infrastructure. By the way, DC Mali 202 said, and all the federal agencies will follow. I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. And then to your point, Stu,
Yeah.
not only do you have to what you laid out, I look at it as it's automated war, right?
Exactly.
I can automate
Yep.
that bad boy and just tell the AI this is when
Yeah.
I need you to attack XYZ, et cetera, et cetera. So to go to sleep, wake up, and just maybe check on the app, like, how's my war going? All right.
Yeah. Well,
Hit up the DevSecOps team. Hey, I need you to push out an update.
I think that that's going so, and again, it's automated. It's 24/7. It don't sleep. So that's
Good point.
If it's attacking a system, there's basically really no defense that if it's able to learn and adapt, you would either have to have an AI capable of outmaneuvering the other one,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
you would have to defend yourself. As in, I think that a lot of places will start isolating. I think a lot of places, the internet as we know it will probably start basically kind of disconnecting because of the constant attacks. You're going to have a lot of stuff that is offline that is not able to be connected, or else it will be attacked immediately. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's probably other ways that, but leaving yourself vulnerable is probably not an option. I mean,
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because the only way you could go kind of isolate yourself from the internet, right, is going back to on-premise setups. Do you think that'll come back? This will kind of force the
definitely for critical infrastructures of sorts, and it's going to be, you're going to have a lot of either people doing the things, or and right now, I mean, we have enough problems with government and businesses even keeping up with security, like any kind of security, cybersecurity, having this stuff hooked up. And imagine now having a rampant AI 24/7 looking for vulnerabilities in the entire internet, just doing whatever it wants to do. And I mean, they may already have those vulnerabilities mapped out, and they just don't exploit them because there's no benefit or need right now. But as long as you're available, or connected to, or vulnerable, to these attacks. So, but yeah, I mean, the future, I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but I mean, that's the thing is the bad part about it is you can see where they're putting the money, where they're trying to weaponize it. They're trying with these AI drone swarms and things like that.
I've seen some of those. Those are actually pretty cool.
And that's the thing is they are, but then all of a sudden you're like, not when they're coming for you.
No, not yeah. That's
but there's a lot of cool stuff that AI could do. It could solve a lot of problems, but there's really not a whole lot of money in
so
it.
Here's my silver lining to that cloud, right? It's not all doom and gloom. Is there gonna be some wars being fought? Yes, we're humans, right?
Yeah,
but along with that brings jobs. To your point, as far as like the hard time trying to keep up with securing all of this, I think that will create perpetual cybersecurity jobs in the long term, right? Also probably in the government sector. Maybe some will trickle down in the private sector, because in the private sector it's all about that dollar bill.
It is.
So I think that it will create a new breed of cybersecurity professionals, right? To where they're gonna, I think everyone is gonna have to learn some facet of AI skills, right? Just like everybody has to know the basics of computers, right? So I feel like that's kind of like something positive that comes out of it, career job opportunities, right? And it also supports, the original conversation we had about the why you should consider investing into AI, right? Because it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. And that's what I with the whole investing thing is I don't, and this is me, not investment advice, I guess, but
we are not professional financial advisors, so you just got to throw that out there. Do your own research.
Whenever I was looking into it, I mean, you're looking at all these other companies, and it would be akin to just investing in a company that is trying to sell a product. So say, there is a product, AI, whatever, they make widgets. Well, that company could go out of business. There could be another company that comes and does the whatever, but the one company like NVIDIA or AMD or chip makers, the people that put the silicon together for actual computing, the actual AI stuff, it's like gold, like you were saying, you don't want to tell people where a gold mine is. You want to be the person selling the shovels. You want to be. So that's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point, because they win no matter what.
Exactly. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, if it's a startup company and they got to buy all that equipment, NVIDIA is going to profit. If they go out of business, there's going to be another one.
NVIDIA made their money. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the way.
Oh, you make a good point. You make a really good point, because they're the ones selling the shovel, right? Because who's the big three, right? And I'm not talking about Kendrick Cole and Drake. I'm talking about Amazon. I'm talking about Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. Those are the AI big three, right? So NVIDIA could sell to all of them, right?
Yeah.
Depending on who, right? I mean, who's out of all of them, actually. And I got to throw Apple in the hat, and we'll stick a pin in that, because that's something else we got. So those are the big three, but Apple's they on the come up, right? But NVIDIA can do business with all of them, and then
and they do.
Maybe the smaller businesses, right? That are small mom and pops AI businesses, right? To your point, right? They're gonna sell to them too. So no matter, good point. Invest in the people selling the shovels.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I bought my NVIDIA stock. We talked about that stock split, man. I had to jump on it, man.
Yeah,
I had to jump on it. Don't forget about IBM. I sure forgot about them. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
that was from DC Molly 202. I definitely forgot about them.
Well, IBM has Watson, and they've got a big government contract with medical stuff. So they've trained it to spot certain types of cancers and other things like that. So, I mean, that is
good point. Good point. Thanks for that reminder. I forgot about them.
That was big. That was big back in the day. They were one of the first ones, because they had that Jeopardy where they had Watson on Jeopardy answering the questions versus the human contestants.
That was okay. I remember that.
That was back in the day.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. That my takeaway from that discussion right there is invest in the people selling the shovels. And of course, we're not professional advisors, so do your research. I'm just saying, I know where it's going. So I bought it, man. And I'll share a quick story too. The last time I did something like this was back in 09-ish era, right? When we were virtualizing servers in the DoD. I actually worked on a project, and I was like, man, who makes VMware? Right? Who owns it? And I looked it up, and at the time it was McAfee, right?
Yeah.
So I scraped up my little pennies, and bought some McAfee stocks, man. Long story short, man, when I actually, that stock actually did really good. Went through a divorce, unfortunately, but I was able to pay for my divorce attorney with that stock. I sold all that stock, had to pay the lawyer. Took some years to recoup, but it's happening all over again, right? I feel like we're at the same juncture to where that was the beginning of the virtualization era, which kind of helped, spin off where we are now with the data center takeover and cloud and now AI, right? And quantum computing is next, but we'll get to that later.
I actually got to mess with one of those whenever I went to Carnegie Mellon. They actually had one, and they were like, "Do you want to use it?" I'm like, "How do you even use it?" Like they just gave
Ooh.
you a log on, and all you have to do is just go in there. But it wasn't really anything crazy. It wasn't like you could play video games on it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just there were certain sets of problems that you could basically set up for it to solve, and it was, you know, it was interesting because the guy that was telling me about it, he was like, you know, we've got the hand right here, right? And you got to get from one point to the other. You got to get from the tip of your finger to the thing. Now, what we're doing right now is he's like, we're going across the palm and we're walking all the way to the thumb. He's like, but what I'm trying to figure out is if I bring these 2 points together, he says, I can avoid the whole middle piece. And I was like, okay, how are you going to do that? But I guess there's differences between like, there's differences in the quantum like mechanics versus
yeah.
and he was trying to explain that.
The surface of it. Yeah, you got to have a quantum science background in that to truly understand that.
I always thought it was kind of neat that he did that. And I was like, okay, well, call me when you figure that thing out, and we'll, I don't know, go do quantum things. But
so DC Molly 202 asked, what did I buy? I bought back what I was talking about, McAfee stock, because they owned VMware back in the day.
Yeah.
And just recently I bought that Nvidia stock. So, but again, like I said, that's just what I'm doing. That's what I did. It was successful. It helped, right? Only because I saw back then the government was dumping all this money in virtualization technology, right? So I was like, well, shoot, if the Air Force is spending all this money on VMware, I'm buying some of that. I don't understand stocks that well. I follow the government's money. If the government's putting money in it, I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's a safe bet. That's just how my mind works.
And
it panned out for me.
It's funny that you mentioned this, and not to get off topic too much, but with the government and spending money, there is a website that is dedicated to tracking all the trades in Congress, and they put it up. It's publicly available information. And
what is that site, sir? You gotta share
that. What was it? Was it Unusual Whales? I think it was here. Most complete user-friendly flow service.
Yeah, drop that link in the chat if you don't mind. Anyone watching this, matter of fact, and I'll copy that and put that in Instagram for the folks that's showing us love on the gram.
Yeah, and I think what else was it? It was a well, there's one. Are the here? Oh, wow. Yeah. This one's called capitaltrades.com. But the one people that I follow is Unusual Whales, and they post on Instagram. And I'm not seeing it on their site for the congressmen's or women. But you can see that before they like.
What was the site? Can you what was that one? Capital?
Yeah.
I'll post the link in the comments real quick, and I want to take that and put that in Instagram for the folks that's showing us.
I do like a comments over here.
Yep. Just drop it in there.
YouTube account to join the live chat. Should I do private chat? What is this here?
Either way, there we go. I could take it from that private chat and post it.
All right.
Oh, there we go. Boom. Let me put that in here.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Just posted it.
So they definitely are
love there.
Heavily investing in AI stocks, NVIDIA, a lot of different chip makers. Also, a lot of the times they'll invest in companies before they make a decision on something. So like say, before giving, some country aid, they'll be like, oh, okay, well, these companies are going to provide the aid, and we're going to give like a $300 million package. So,
okay. But, so, earlier you talked about, you were talking about some AI technology and with image generation and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So, what I want to talk about next is that the Microsoft, the new Microsoft technology they're coming out that can actually take one picture with a voice sample and actually turn it into a video. I'm gonna go ahead and when I saw this, I'm gonna tell you right now, that was kind of scary. I was like, whoa, you talking about the deep fakes The deepfake technology is going to a whole nother level. Go ahead and get this going. Oh, turn the sound on.
But this one was made using only one.
Let's go back. Let's run that back.
The video can be faked with AI nowadays. But this one was made using only one picture and one audio clip.
Run, do part of a run. If you plan to go to the gym today,
Thanks to a new AI developed by Microsoft. It uses natural face and head movements like blinking or lip movement and works with photos as well as art. The AI was trained on a dataset of over 1 million videos of celebrity speaking. The developers say the AI could be used for education, to improve accessibility for those with communication challenges, or to create virtual companions. But it can also be misused to create fake video chats, spread misinformation, and enable harassment. The program still isn't perfect, but its creators say it paves the way for real-time engagement with lifelike avatars.
I decided to focus.
I mean, it's pretty cool. I did check that out. I do like. I mean, it looks cool. I'm sure they probably picked the best videos for the demo, but
Oh, of course, man. You got to put your best foot forward.
yeah,
But you know what,
obviously.
but you know what? This that comes up with a good topic
Mhm.
because there hasn't been a law created to be able to apprehend the bad actors, right?
Yeah, and it would be hard, where they're at.
Yeah, because just think about it. Think about if somebody took a very powerful person's image,
Yeah,
because it just said it scanned over 1 million celebrities,
Yep.
right?
yeah.
So this
Mm-hmm.
image,
And then
and that person's image, and they configure it to have certain type of unkind slurs. I'm gonna just use
Yeah.
that word
yeah, they could do that.
in the business aspect, but also in relationships and personal aspects too.
Ooh.
And this is one thing that it's scary but enticing as well, because now you also have people who can co-sign something without co-signing.
Man, you
See
be
what I'm
bringing
saying?
us some stuff I wasn't even thinking. The name of that technology is VASA-1 or VASA-1. By the way, no, you're right. Now, I mean, because we've had conversations about voice cloning, right? Now you combine the voice cloning with this. To your point, yes. I mean, it's like you said before. Election is just around the corner, so I wonder if things could get ugly with that in this, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
I think
Smear Campaign is going to be using it, I'm sure, and I'm sure it's going to be used to the highest of its capability.
Oh yeah.
Because of the fact, because of the fact that we're where it's going to be. This election is a no-brainer, but a no-brainer. It's kind of complicated. There's people that's if you're for one candidate, we know that you can't stand the other candidate, and if you're for the other candidate, you can't stand this one. So those who are in the middle, which the Gen Ys and Gen Zs, they are the ones who got to be on top of this technology to make sure that, like, hey, that doesn't align with this individual principles, because why would he say or do something like that?
Good point. Know your candidates. Because if something is out of character, right? Like if we saw something, Donald Trump saying something nice, probably not the real Donald Trump. Just keeping it real. Good point, man. Good point. It could go so many directions with it. I mean, I always try to find the positive stuff. Maybe you can change the game with the greeting cards you send or something. I don't know, but I mean, the articles did talk about using this for like education. Like I'm using ABC Mouse for my baby girl right now, and I'm thinking maybe it can help in a positive way with something like that. But I can't help but to think of all the cybercrime that could be committed with that.
Yeah, you know,
The benefit
uh,
of it with educational systems is it can actually help. Like, say for instance, you want to learn a language, right?
Uh-huh.
That can be beneficial because it can take somebody like Jennifer Lopez
Mm.
Spanish and English, and then one of her, like somebody who's a fan or something wants to take a course to sound like Jennifer Lopez but want to speak Spanish. So then that
Ooh.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, I see the positives of it, but let's think about how when AI was first introduced to America, it got pimped out, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody was trying to make money before they tried to better themselves.
Mm. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
technology, I feel, is going to be the same way first. And in the
Mhm.
height of an election, as critical it is as it is, it's
Yeah.
going to be one of those things where you're going to have some rules and regulations because
Oh, you want to get in that?
yeah, because that's see when I think of these new technologies, I also think about how is it going to be governed.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? How is it going to protect the little people? Because
yeah.
what if somebody just say, okay, yeah, sure, take my card and go ahead and you can go ahead and charge $5,000 to your fund or community, and then they go say great, and then the people call them back like, hey, I never approved this. Like, yeah, you did.
This is you right here. We even got you
Right.
on video.
That's not
this is your voice, right?
right. And so then
Yeah.
and we always have the elder community that doesn't care about keeping up with technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going
It's
up-
difficult.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, that would definitely be a target group. That we, I think, need to do our job. You know, as the youngins to
Yeah.
watch out for our elder community. Man, we talked about that last time. They may not stay up on it like that. But we got to watch out for them, man, and we got to go back to being a village, man. Take care of each other, because no, you're right,
Yeah.
for real, man.
That is it.
So
I'm always fighting for the little guy.
hey man, that's what it's all about. Hey, and that's what one of the reasons why we do this, man. We trying to spread awareness, man. So anyone watching this, if you know you got some elders in your family that's not really up on this technology, you stay up on it so you can protect them, like grandma, grandpa, nana. You know what I mean? Look out for them and the kids too, right? That's also another vulnerable community. And you know, a lot of parents out there kind of like to just give kids the phone to shut them up as like a pacifier, right?
Yeah.
The dangers are lurking, man. That's a way in too. Those are two target groups that I think we could do a better job monitoring these devices, right? So they're not, you know, falling victim, which can cause the whole family to fall victim to some type of attack, right? Good point. Good point.
Or not funny, but what happened? Like, I was watching a good deep fake of it, where it had my son just reminded me. It was Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks. He was like being really disrespectful on a video, and it was an. And when I saw it, I was like, wait, what? And I was like, nah, that's not AI. This is clearly this man's voice. But then somebody said, go to the actual interview, and I clicked on the actual interview, and he didn't say any of it. But it was the same tone and reference of it.
Ooh, yeah. This stuff is gonna get, man. I tell you what, PR teams about to have some fun.
So it's a possibility they may be in need of an AI cyber PR AI
good point.
Technology out there.
Yeah.
Good point, man. You know, you talking PR. Let's switch to a lighter note, because this has been kind of like gloomy. So, you know what? It's we've been talking to, you know, Drake and Kendrick, because it's what's been going on for a while, but you know, that beef actually brought something to surface, man. I want to talk about BBL Drizzy, and people are probably like, what? Why are you talking about BBL Drizzy? Hear me out. I'm gonna play this clip, and I'm glad that Metro put this out. that people can use it, because I'm not trying to get no copyright tag, but I'm gonna play it and we'll go from there, because there's a tie-in to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get this BBL Drizzy going. Just share that one clip real quick.
BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. I'm thicker than a snicker. I'm thicker than a ninja. Don't act like you don't know me. These hands deserve a trophy. Maybe it ain't no mystery. Got the best BBL in history. This cake will make you show up. I know you've seen it blow up. As BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. BBL.
Yeah.
All right.
My son couldn't stop laughing.
All right. So, the reason why I'm playing that, is because there's an article about Fortune magazine that talks about this song, because this song actually is a landmark case for intellectual property in publishing. So, I remember when I first heard that beat, right, when the whole beef was going down and Metro Boomin put that out and told all the underground rappers, hey, if whoever makes the best song to this beat gets a free Metro Boomin beat. I actually thought about hopping on it myself, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
I just don't have the time right now. But
I would have heard it.
kind of busy. Yeah.
nah, but so I didn't know the background story on this, man. So when I was listening to that song, I was wondering, I'm like, how did they make that? Because I was wondering, did Metro bring in like a group to sing that, and he made it sound like a 70s soul type of track? I didn't know, but then when this article came out, apparently there was actually a comedian that created that. Basically, long story short, a comedian put that out as part of his set. Metro Boomin took it, right, made the beat, and then for those that don't know, Drake actually rapped on that part on the new Sexy Red song that just came out. What's that Sexy Red song? Like I Need You or something like that?
Man, I don't know, because I'm Team Kendrick, so
You're asking the wrong guy.
I mean, I'm Team Kendrick too.
I did know he rapped over a BBL Drizzy beat that was look, I'm Team Kendrick all the way. So
all the way, baby.
Anything Drake put out, I'm like, okay, I listened to it. I'm like, okay, next. And so even with the BBL Drizzy beat, you know what I'm saying? I've heard several versions of it with other artists on it, and kudos to them. But my thing is this, and to get the tie-in back to the topic.
Yeah.
AI and music is really scary because 2 years ago they had this AI generated artist, and it was like it was really bad because it wasn't a person of the hip hop culture who created it. It was just some tech guys who wanted to have fun.
Well, yeah.
They created that artist. That artist ended up selling I think 1 billion streams within 30 days, and he was a black AI generated character, but he was doing a lot of derogatory stuff. And it was like, okay, if this gets in the wrong hands, it don't matter who has it.
Yeah.
Put it on, because you got to realize, even though artists are popular and they make their own creativity, they're not. 70% of the artists that's out there that's mainstream, they don't have control of what they consider music. Like, you got the big wigs, right, to tell them.
Real quick, on Instagram, we got Miss Cookie. Lady Cookie out there said, "What's up, Stu? What's up, girl?"
What up?
Genevieve, what's up? Vanessa, I see you out there on IG. Thanks for showing love. That's the Tucson crew showing love over here on IG.
Hey.
But back, so the song that the Sexy Red did, that Drake did, that was You My Everything. Horrible song. I don't like it, but it's changing the game, because in order for Sexy Red's team to use that beat, for Drake to rap over, they actually had to clear that sample and license it from that comedian.
Yeah.
This is different territory now. So something that was AI generated had to be licensed to be used in a song. So it doesn't go into detail on the actual deal, but he got something. I don't know if that license deal was just a one-time fee. I don't know if he's going to get a percentage of the publishing, but this is new territory, y'all. This is new territory as far as how different creators can get paid and generate revenue in music. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of I've looked into as well, because there was also the whole thing of whether or not the artist actually owns the creation, because the AI actually generated it. So is the company involved making the AI? Do they get a piece, or did the AI create it? Is it its own entity? Like, what happens if AI does become, like, considered conscious or whatever later on?
The damn AI is gonna want some royalty payments.
Yeah.
Well,
so I'm like,
the software that you purchase, that's the it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
If
you buy an MPC and make a hit.
Ooh, good point. Good point. Good point.
I ain't gonna hit you up and say, "Hey, you used our machine and made $1 million." So they can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but I think AI, they're trying to basically control exactly like what the output of it is, like in their terms. So I get what you're saying. Like, if I have a keyboard, I'm Yamaha, they're like, yo, you used our keyboard for $1 million record. Where's that money? But
I'm gonna need that kickback.
I always, that's the thing is it's really cool that you're able to generate this stuff so quickly with AI, but at first it was like awesome, right? It was like, oh man, this thing, but then you like expect more out of it or something better. and then you're like, well, this is crap. And it's just spitting stuff out. And you're like, well, and not only that, it doesn't have that feeling. It doesn't put that dedication and time into it. You're just spinning the wheel hoping that it hits. Like, it's just randomly. They probably went through thousands of songs before they found something that actually worked for them.
The guy that generated that, I'll tell you what, but that goes. I know the first time I heard it, plus I'm Team Kendrick, so I'm like, BBL Drizzy, go ahead, show off them BBLs. Come on. But the fact that because I'm to your earlier points, Stu, because they were talking about on the article, the dilemma on is what's created using these AI tools public domain, because that was tossed out there, just like Mickey Mouse, right? Is now public domain. Betty Boop is public domain. So that that was the conversation, right? And to Corey's earlier point, I think we still got a lot of policymakers that need to help figure this out. But in the meantime, between time, that comedian getting paid. The kids love the song. The "You My Everything." It sounds horrible to me, but it's generating money. I'm sure Drake, he's getting paid. Sexy Red is getting the bag, as the kids say, and that comedian is as well. And I remember the article was even saying that he's not even good at making music. He just put this together, like you said, Stu, and probably took some time to get something right. And he simply did it just to get some laugh. And it spun out into this whole thing that we are now. But I mean, it's a new way maybe to get some publishing revenue too. That's what I'm looking at.
Man, you just said the key word. Amazon has been having so many issues because people just sit there and like print out ebooks. Literally, like, AI is just flooding the market. So they actually had to put a restriction on how many ebooks people could submit to Amazon for their Kindle store, because it doesn't matter. There's no editing. There's no nothing. You just throw it up there. If somebody buys it for $1, then you made $1, right? Like, it doesn't matter the quality. It doesn't matter like what the story is about. It just matters that, even if you just get 100 people, but if you have infinite books, it's just spitting them out like one after the other. You have it generate some kind of cheesy AI art cover, call it something, and then spit out, I don't know, a couple hundred pages of You give it a prompt, be like sci-fi romantic novel,
Yo.
and then it spits out Star Wars. You know, who knows? I mean, that's the thing.
No, you're right. You're right. Because I know that I've seen a lot of videos about that. Yeah, write a book. I mean, I'm gonna write a book, but I'm gonna actually write it old school style. Someone was like, someone told me to jump on ChatGPT. I'm like, nah, because ChatGPT won't have the anecdotes that I have, right? To get my points across. No,
I actually wrote a book. I actually wrote a book and published it. Through ChatGPT, and I published it through Amazon, but I wrote it from ChatGPT. And I think I sold probably about 15 copies of it so far.
Hey, okay, hey, get it how you get it.
But
it's possible with no promotion. But I'm about to start promoting it now because I did a vendor day on Saturday, and everybody who saw AI, they started coming up to me and talking about it. And thank God I took that prompt engineering course, and I was able to speak confidently about it. But I put the book out like 6 months ago.
Hey man, hey, something's better than nothing.
I mean, that's the thing is it just sits there. It doesn't cost you anything. So
nope.
That's a zero sum kind of.
Well, yeah, man. Hey, thanks again. So I think it's time to wrap this thing on up. But we did talk about, again, we opened up and we just the conversation Stu and I had, man. As far as why you may or may not want to consider investing in AI, whether if it's actually as an investor and do what we did, buy some NVIDIA stock or something like it, or maybe start preparing yourself, or maybe someone in your family guiding them in the direction of an AI career. We looked at how the DoD is dumping millions of dollars in AI. We looked at how Microsoft had the VASA-1 platform that could take one picture and an audio sample and create a video. And then we looked at that BBL Drizzy and how that just changed the publishing game. So I think, man, I think it's a safe investment. However you want to invest in AI, career-wise, investor-wise, maybe something that supports AI, maybe DevOps, something like that, right? That's my take on it. It ain't going nowhere. We're here. Future is here. What's your take on that, Stu?
Yeah, I mean they're gonna push for it pretty much no matter what. It's a game where you've got to, whoever gets to it first, is going to have a large market share or otherwise. So they're just going to keep pushing for it. And as far as it's come along and everything like that, and as quickly it has come along, I still see a lot of things that people need to do. It still has a lot of issues being coherent, as in if you tell it to draw a picture of a person, it will draw that picture of a person. But then you say, okay, draw that person again, that exact same person, but have them, I don't know, riding a bicycle down the street or something like that. It'll draw an entirely different person. It doesn't understand that it doesn't. So it just basically kind of does certain things. So that's what they were having issues with, with the video and stuff like that, is to have the same person drawn over and over again.
Yeah.
So they've implemented like a 3D model kind of thing to where you can actually mesh it, and then the 3D model moves, and you don't have to redraw the person. They come up with different stuff, but for right now, that still takes somebody to do that. Somebody actually has to go in there and do those things. So there are different things that AI, I think, can help with as a tool, but I think in the long run, I think people will still have to do a bit of the work. It's just
so it's not ready to take over the world quite yet.
Not just yet, but I don't. And that's the thing is AI. I don't think there's any reason to be afraid of it because it doesn't have any motive. It doesn't have any kind of desire to take over the world. It's the people that are creating AI that have that desire for whatever they're creating.
Yeah.
So,
and then if you watch episode 6, we give you some tips. Miss Sarah Wilder gives you some tips on how to overcome your fear of AI. So check that out. And thank you for that. And Corey, finally, you give us the final thoughts to close us out, sir.
So we talked about shovels. we talked about investments, we talked about BBLs. So as far as the
What else
shovels,
do you need?
That's life, baby. That's all we need. I'm good.
so as far as the shovels, I say this, right? Get your shovel. Find whatever shovel that's going to be able to be used as the tool to make sure that whatever company is out there, they're going to need to come to you to get the shovel.
Mm.
Yeah.
As far as BBL, Drizzy, BBL, protect yourself at all costs. And then investment, before spending money, before spending anything, spend the time to know
Yes.
what you're doing.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
the best investment you can invest in is yourself and in education
Yep.
in this.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know, no matter what you do as far as putting money in a stock, it's risky. But if you earn the knowledge of what this country or what this world is about to come to with AI government tools, AI
Mm.
screenshots, AI data, all this. If you invest in the knowledge, you're going to be okay. And
Yeah.
investing in the knowledge, I don't mean by going to sign up for a class or course. Go ahead, do the research on yourself. So that way you'll know what tools to look for yourself, not for what everybody else is doing. What's going
Good
to
point.
benefit and help you.
Good point. Yeah, that's good, man. So you invest in yourself. Hey,
It is.
I always support that. I will always invest in myself first. Now that's what's up. So thanks again, Stu, man. It was good catching
Not
up
a
with
problem.
you, man.
It's
You
good.
brought
Glad-
out some of the old ACOMS folks, man. They checked in with us, man.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Hey, yeah, they're on Instagram, man.
Oh,
So
check them
yeah,
out.
I see some other folks in Tucson that signed on. Jen, I see you. Thanks, Kim. I see you. So yeah, man. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click that bell so you can get notified when we have our next episode. We do this every Monday at 6:15 ish. One day we will start on time. We working on it. Okay.
Alrighty.
Let them know how to get in contact with you, man. For all my active duty folks, if you need, the order of coins and different type of awards and plaques and stuff, holler at them. Give them plug your socials, man. How do we get in contact with you?
I'll say hey on the Instagrams. No, mostly of the time, honestly, I do stuff a lot locally. I did start a little business. I do a lot of plaques, going away gifts, woodworking. I got a laser CNC. They haven't, I keep them offline so they don't become sentient and try to take over the house. And then, it'd be great if they just cut the stuff out themselves. But, so right now I'm doing a bunch of promotion gifts for the tech release that just got dropped. So,
okay.
I do a lot of that stuff.
Shout out to the new tech sergeants.
Yeah. So I got a lot of them over here on Langley that are getting ready to put on. So I got gifts for all of them.
Signs by Stu. Right, that's
it
the
is.
Signs by Stu. If you need
Stu.
to order something, you in the VA area or what is that? The DMV area. You need something out there.
Yeah, I could probably deliver, but I do a little bit of shipping sometimes
for premium cost, right?
Well, yeah, man, dude, shipping it is expensive. Actually, it adds quite a bit to it, And then, but it's good. I enjoy doing it, and I like being able to tinker with stuff, and the machinery stuff is really cool. So
appreciate you, brother. Be safe out there. We might do this again. Corey, be safe out there on the West Coast. And we'll check in with you next week. Y'all take care. Thanks for checking in with us.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Technically Speaking.
Oh yeah.
Peace.